This is question B, part 10 of the Seoul National University's Mathematics Aptitude test that was held in 10th of February 2015. The reason I chose this question is because this is a great great practice for students who are practicing calculus and who wants to expand their depths for above the required syllabus of the IB/AHL mathematics. So here's the question. As from the function fx with a domain of x being greater than 1, the function fx is defined as the definite integral from 1 to x of sine xt squared over t dt. Find f prime pi. The other reason why I chose this question is because there are places where students would make mistakes. So let's get right on to it. The function fx is defined as the integral from 1 to x of sine of xt squared divided by t dt. We cannot just integrate this because obviously there are two variables inside the function itself. The function has an x and t where we want to integrate as dt. So that should not work there. We have to make this a single variable function inside the integral to be able to integrate this. So the natural step that many students would have taken is use substitution. For example, let u equals xt squared. Well, then obviously here's the place where students would have made a lot of mistakes. The answer is du dt equals 2tx. Now, some of you might be asking, well, isn't this a multiple of two functions, of one function of x, one function in terms of t? Well, no. Because the function itself is defined as a integral from 1 to x as a boundary for the integral, it is not a variable, it is a constant. It should be considered as a constant in this case. Because if, for example, f of pi, then it's just 1 to pi of pi t squared over t. Therefore, it is just asking, the function fx is just asking, what is the area under the curve of this graph from the point 1 to some number x? Therefore, when we actually use this function itself, it will not be a variable. It would be considered as a constant. So this is the biggest, I guess, boundary, that the biggest obstacle that would have stopped students for getting the marks. So dt equals 1 over 2tx du. Yep. So we can rewrite the fx as integral from t equals 1 to t equals x of sine of u over t times 1 over 2tx times du. And we should change the boundaries from t to u. So when t equals 1, we can see that u equals x. So u is x. And when t equals x, u equals x cubed, because it's x squared times x. From x to x cubed of sine u over 2, the denominator here is, so the multiple is 2t squared x, right? But we defined xt squared as u. Therefore, we can just rewrite this as 2u du. And this we can integrate by parts, right? So I'll actually put the 1/2 outside the integral. So we will use no, we're not actually integrating here, right? So this is fx. I want to find f prime of pi. So I will differentiate this, but so now we can use the method that I like teaching to my students. Let the function inside to be another function. So let's let that be called gu. Let's let the integral of sine of u over u du be capital G of u. And let's say, well, yeah, let's call that h of u. And let's say the differentiate version of h of u is lowercase letter h of u. So we can, so function fx can be written as 1 over 2 of h of x cubed minus h of x by the fundamental theorem of calculus, right? Right? Yep. So so now I want to find f prime of x. Well, we can just differentiate this. This is just 1/2 of h of x cubed is a composite function. Therefore, we have to use the composite function differentiation rule. So we differentiate the insides and multiply it outside. 3x squared times, we differentiate the outside function, so this becomes capital H prime, which we decided to call small h of x cubed minus, that is just small h of x, right? But what is small h of x cubed? It's h of u is capital H of u prime, which is sine u over u, right? Therefore, h of x cubed is sine of x cubed over x cubed. This is 1/2 of 3x squared times, we're just substituting x cubed instead of u over here, sine of x cubed over x cubed minus sine of x over x, because we're substituting x instead of u of sine u, right? So if you simplify some, you get 3 sine x cubed over x minus sine x over x. And this is f prime of x. So f prime of pi would be 1/2 of 3 sine pi cubed minus sine pi all over pi, right? But sine pi is 0, therefore our f prime of pi value just comes up to be 3 times sine of pi cubed over 2 pi. This was more or less a difficult question if you didn't know how to do it. Thank you very much.